day of class. This is either Wednesday or Thursday, depending on if you're with me A or B days. Today we're going to take some time to talk about cowboy grit. So those of you that were with us last year, that were here at Coppell High School last year, you know that was a big thing that Springer had us talk about, and we're going to continue to talk about that because it's got some great ideas and good philosophy. So the grit stands for, well, in addition, grit means sticking to it, and working hard and having that drive to get something accomplished, and to push through when things get hard. Okay, which is cool that word means something, and then each letter stands for something. So the G is gratitude, R is respect, I is integrity, and T is trust. So I'm going to make one video and kind of do an overview, and then on Wednesday you're going to look at gratitude and respect, and on Thursday those kids are going to talk about integrity and trust. So we'll have a place for you to go discuss things. Everything will be through Schoology. So check it out. Okay, so I want you to watch, there's a 2-minute video right here on gratitude. So if you are in the Wednesday group, you'll watch that in just a minute. And then what I'd like to do is I want to give you a chance to think through personally and then discuss out. Okay, so if you were in my classroom, I would set a timer for 3 minutes, and I'd have you on scratch paper. This is not to share out with the class, but I'd ask you to write down what you're grateful for. And then, so I would take advantage of that moment, to really kind of enter into this process and think about gratitude in your own life, and what are things that you have in your life that you should be grateful for. And so we did this last year, and then the group kind of discussed and didn't necessarily get super personal, but they discussed some highlights. Then they put it on a Post-it note and came and put it on the board. And so that was kind of fun. Then we could kind of see what the whole class thought of. Instead, I'm going to have you do this part as a discussion on Schoology. And then this third part is also another personal thing. And am I going to check to make sure you do it? No, I'm not. But I do think that this is a great time. Well, you have 90 minutes to work with me. So save this for the very last thing. And if you run out of time, well, okay, so sorry. But if you haven't run out of time and you have 90 minutes, might as well do this and take advantage of showing someone that you're grateful for them. Okay, then Wednesday also will go into respect. So what I did, I went on dictionary.com or Googled respect to see what it said. And notice on this page, there's the noun. When respect is a noun, it lists these 3 definitions. And then the next page shows when respect is a verb. And so I'm going to have you discuss below, I can't talk today, I'm sorry. Discuss on Schoology which of these definitions is the most meaningful to you. Which one do you like the most? I don't know. Pick one. Tell me something that you like, something that you didn't like. There you go. Okay, and then the other thing, what does respect look like? What does respect look like? You know what? I'm going to try that. So what this... My bad. It should say, what does respect look like towards your teachers and administrators? What does respect look like towards your fellow students? What does respect look like towards yourself? What does respect look like towards the classroom, school building, towards the environment? On this one, I have been known to say, one day when you're the teacher, you can make the decisions. So one way, sometimes I'm always up to listening to other people's, to my students' suggestions, but it does come down to the fact that I am the teacher, and I'm aware of that, and I'll listen and I'll consider and I'll think about it, but I might have a reason that I'm not moving the test and that sort of thing. So kind of as kids start to push back, please move the test, and if I have considered your perspective and then realize that no, we really need to do what we need to do. What I like to say sometimes is, one day when you're the teacher, you can make the decisions. So anyway, and you have the advantage of learning how to deal with that. But we all have that. There are definitely things that the principals say that, Ms. Kosh, you must do such and such, whether I like it or not. So we're all kind of in that situation where sometimes it's not necessarily the way I would have done it, but there we go. And so I get to choose my attitude and do the best I can. Okay, then Thursdays, people are going to talk about integrity. I love that quote. We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence then is not an act, but a habit. Okay, so my point here is I want you to be people of integrity in the small things every day. Integrity is, what do you do when people aren't looking? What are you choosing to do the right thing even if no one is watching? And then I really, really, really like this phrase here: practice does not make perfect, practice makes permanent. Okay, so if I practice cheating, if I cheat and I cheat and I cheat and I don't get caught, but I cheat and I cheat and I cheat, I have become a cheater. Okay, so the first time, are you necessarily a cheater? Well, no, not necessarily, but you're training yourself to be a cheater. And then what happens when the stakes get higher? Okay, it can be pretty catastrophic. So perfect practice makes perfect. So I want you to practice doing the right thing all the time, even in the little details, because that's how you become who you're meant to be. So then that group will write for 2 minutes, about 2 minutes each. So if you were in my classroom, I'd set a timer, and I wouldn't read this necessarily, but I think I'd encourage you to do the exercise. I think it's meaningful. I think it's worthwhile. How does a bad reputation hurt you? How will a good reputation help you? And then CHS has a reputation. How does that impact you? So think about that one. I have some significant ideas on that, so I want to see what you come up with. That one, yeah, we can discuss some of these. Maybe I'll have you discuss at least one of these. You are training yourself for the adult you will become. What kind of an adult do you want to be? Okay, so consider that. Let's discuss and think about it, and practice now to be becoming people of integrity. Then the fourth part of grit is trust. And so that activity that I would suggest is to write down 3 people you trust. This is not necessarily something you'd share with the whole group, but I want you to reflect on that. The characteristics of someone you trust, that could be shared out. How does someone lose your trust? That could be a good discussion question. And why should you trust us? And then, do you actually trust us? So the good news is that this is my 21st year of teaching. So I do know the math that I'm teaching you. I've been doing IB as long as we've had it at Coppell High School. And so my hope is that you can trust that I want what is best for you, and that I know it. I mean, there's always more that I have to learn, but I do know what I'm talking about. So yes, hopefully you can trust me. And then my attitude is always trust but verify. And also, I'm going to trust you, and if I have reason to see that you betrayed my trust, I'm going to watch you more closely in the future. Like and there's been years where I have certain little darlings who make bad decisions, and then from there on out, even if I don't call them on that one, but if I have reason to think that your eyes are wandering, or I don't know how that's going to be with Zoom, but if I have reason to think that you're not being a person of integrity, I'm going to watch you a lot closer. Okay, so don't give me reason to be suspicious. The last thing I want us to do today is I made a video in June about the importance of practice in mathematics. So this doesn't quite fit into grit, but I want you, before we get going and doing, and we're going to start on math either Friday or Monday, depending on what day you have me. But before you do that, I want you to really reflect on how do you practice, why do you practice, how should we practice, and all that kind of stuff. And I made a video. I was thinking about you in June. So I made that video. I have to admit, my cello is out of tune, and I had played wrong notes, and I'm so sorry. I'm a little embarrassed by that. But in an attempt to be humble, and an attempt to show you who I am despite my flaws, go ahead and watch it anyway. All right. I think that's what I have for you in this video. Good luck.